The following public service program is brought to you by the Metropolitan Library System. And now, Read About It with your host, B.J. Williams.
We have a great show for you today, including a talk with Donnis Casey about her latest book, Hornswoggle. First, however, Gary King was here a few days ago to tell us about his book about OU football, An Autumn Remembered. I think you'll enjoy what he had to say. Gary King is a professor of psychology at Rose State College, but he's written a book on a slightly different subject. And Autumn Remembered is about football, isn't it?
Right, the Oklahoma Sooners, a 1956 national championship team, which I think is probably not only Bud Wilkinson's greatest team, but probably, or you could make a very strong argument, the best team in the history of college football.
And there are actually people alive who remember it.
Well, I hope there are a few of us left, hopefully.
Well, it is the 50th anniversary of that team, and some exciting things are going to happen at the homecoming game, aren't there?
Right, at the homecoming game, the Colorado game, this team is going to be honored at halftime. And also the family of Prentice Gott, who of course was the first black player to play at OU. And I have the last chapter of the book is about Prentice Gott and his experiences there. But many of these players will be autographing books before the game, 2 hours before kickoff time. They'll be autographing books at the University Bookstore underneath the stadium, on the west side of the stadium. So if some fans would like to come by and get some autographs of some of the greatest players in the history of OU football, like Jerry Tubbs and Jimmy Harris, some guys like this, and maybe Byron Searcy is going to be there, Bill Chrysler, I know, and perhaps some others. This would be a good opportunity.
Now, you originally wrote this book in the late 80s. What inspired you to write about these guys in particular?
Well, in 1956, I was 12 years old, and I remember all of this time of the winning streak very well. My mother was a professor at OU then, and she had several of these players in her class, and I got to meet them. And I wanted to just sort of tell what it was like to grow up during this time when OU would win every week. And, you know, when your favorite team goes almost 5 years without losing a game, you tend to remember this. You know, it was a great time for OU football and the OU fans.
Mm-hmm. Now, you spent a lot of time actually talking with, with Bud Wilkinson and with a lot of the players, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I interviewed 10, 12, 15 players, I guess, and Wilkinson, of course. And that was a lot of fun for me to talk to these guys who had been my heroes, you know, as a young boy. These guys were really my heroes, and it was fun to talk to them years later and get their thoughts about that season.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate the way you start out with talking with Bud Wilkinson, because obviously he had some great talent, but he was sort of the wellspring of this team, and it set a nice tone for the rest of the book.
Well, I think Wilkinson, most people would agree, really started the OU football tradition. He came there, of course, and his first season was 1947, right after World War II. And he had a national championship team in 1950, and then again in 55 and 56. And so I think when we talk about OU football tradition, you really start with Bud Wilkinson, and this was his greatest team, I believe.
Mm-hmm. He also made some observations on how things had changed from when he was a coach at OU, and I believe there was some mention about jet planes changing
well, yeah,
college football.
He was talking about recruiting there, that in his day, you pretty much played with boys you could recruit within your own geographical area. He mentioned that at one point it would be very hard to find any kids that played at OU that grew up more than 500 miles away from Norman, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And he basically recruited out of Oklahoma and North Texas. Mm-hmm. And today, with the jet airplanes, you fly all over the United States and recruit. I think Bob Stoops and his, 95 recruiting class had players from 13 different states, and that never would have happened in Bud's day. Now, he did have Tommy McDonald, who was from Albuquerque, New Mexico, but that was just about it. Everybody else was either Oklahoma or Texas. Buddy Leak, I think, was from Memphis, Tennessee, but those were the two major exceptions.
Well, I think I remember hearing complaints from Texas about how we were stealing all their good players.
Well, we really didn't steal all of them, because Bud said he didn't really go south of Dallas. He didn't really try to recruit anybody south of Dallas, because he thought then they were going to go to the University of Texas, or at that time Bear Bryant was coaching at Texas A&M, and he was going to get kids down there. But Barry Switzer started going to Houston and recruiting players, you know, and then into California, and so things have really changed in terms of recruiting since Bud's day. Another real big change was that in Bud's day, everyone played offense and defense because of the substitution rules. You didn't have offensive specialists and defensive specialists. You had to play both ways. And Bud was very much a believer in one platoon football. He thought that's the way the college game should be. And of course, we don't have that anymore. We have specialists for everything.
Well, there was even a comment that had an impact on the scholarship of the football players, according to Bud.
Well, he really was. He said in his time that when he played at the University of Minnesota, the thought was that you went to college to become an educated person, and football was an extracurricular activity. And he said that was pretty much the way it was throughout his entire time in Norman, Oklahoma. And he often said that he could understand why a boy from New York City would come to Oklahoma to study petroleum engineering, for example, but he couldn't understand why he would come to OU to play football. And he thought that you would recruit a kid to be a student athlete, and he emphasized the student part very much, and he felt like if you're there and say maybe you're a great running back, but you're not so great on defense. Well, you have to learn to play defense, and a part of that learning process would be also you're a student at the university, and you go to class and you presumably graduate, and they had a very high graduation rate then, probably something on the order of 90%. I think every one of these guys I interviewed had graduated from OU, and you don't find that today. You don't find a 90% graduation rate at OU or anywhere else today, for that matter.
Well, not even if you leave all the athletes behind, you find that graduation
you're
rate
right.
today.
From just the general student body, you don't know.
Well, and you have an observation from your mother, who apparently had a number of these kids in her class. Well, they weren't kids; they were young men.
Yeah, and I was fortunate that I got to meet some of them in those days, and got to really know a few of them. She wasn't such a great fan herself. That is, she didn't really go to the games very much, but my dad and I would go, and my aunts and uncles would go to football games, and Saturdays were quite a nice occasion at our house in those days. All the relatives would come in, and then my dad and I would go to the games, and after the games I'd get together with my friends and play touch football, and we would pretend that we were Jimmy Harris and Tommy McDonald throwing passes to one another, and it was just a good time because OU always won.
And the book again is An Autumn Remembered. It's an updated version. You went back in 2004 and 2005 and talked with the surviving members of the team.
Right. This year is the 50th anniversary of this team, and I thought that maybe we should do something to so the fans would really remember these guys. And I went back and talked to several of them, and we did kind of an updated version of it to get it out in time for the football season. And the OU Press was very helpful in getting it all together.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being with us today.
Okay, thank you.
Gary King has been telling us about his book, An Autumn Remembered. You can find it in your library and your favorite bookstore. And if you get a chance to go to the home game down in Norman, you can get a signed copy. Coming up next, Doug Benton will be talking with Pauline Rodriguez about a book you can check out at your library.
Pauline, thanks for taking some time off of your regular work and coming over here and helping me with my regular work. I appreciate that. You have brought a book called The Little Lady Agency. Now, what is that? I mean, what? I mean, I know it's a book, but what is a little lady agency in the
Well,
in the book?
it's not an escort agency,
Oh,
although
well.
you might think so. It's an agency that provides assistance to men. It helps men out with things that they kind of need a woman's help for, at least some of them do, like picking out clothes,
Oh,
picking gifts for moms and girlfriends, you know, sending thank you notes. They also do provide escorts to certain social events, but no sex.
okay. I mean, it's not an escort
No.
service. As you said.
And
Okay.
they also do occasionally help men out with breakups when they just can't bring themselves to break up with a girlfriend.
Is it a comic novel? It sounds like it's going to be more humorous than
It's
anything.
very humorous. It is a lot of fun.
Okay, this agency now, is it a large agency? Are there several women involved in this?
Right now, it's just one, Melissa Romney Jones. Don't you love that name? But I think there may be one, more than one in future novels.
Okay, well now tell me a little bit about Melissa Romney Jones. Yeah, it's a very British sounding name.
Oh, yes. She is a very proper British girl, very upper crust, went to all the right schools, very strong on manners and doing things correctly, grew up in a wealthy family, and Daddy's a member of Parliament, and he's also a bit of a cad and very controlling. And so Melissa is very proud of the fact that she makes it on her own with no help, especially since any money that Daddy gives her or lends her is going to come with strings attached.
Oh, okay. So what exactly does she do then in the course of the book?
Well, at the beginning, she's working at a rental agency, so to speak. You know, she finds apartments for people, and she loses that job. And what's she going to do if she's going to support herself? Well, what does a girl with Melissa's skills and talents do? She's good at organizing. Daddy just bullied her into organizing her sister's wedding to save him the money on a wedding planner. So she creates the Little Lady Agency.
Okay.
But the catch is that because Daddy's so high profile and Melissa's so proper, she doesn't want anybody to know she's involved. So she's created this alter ego, Honey, who actually is the face of the agency.
Oh. This is sounding like, we talk about it more and more, it sounds like it gets more and more complicated and maybe a little bit farther away from the fluffy romance that it sounded like it was in the beginning.
Oh no, it's not a fluffy romance at all, and it does get more and more complicated. It of course has a lot of funny moments, especially when you start to deal with people who know Melissa and Honey.
Well, it sounds like fun. It's the Little Lady Agency by, who's the author?
Hester Brown.
Hester Brown.
Another very British name.
Yeah, very Hesterish, yeah. Thank you for coming in and talking about it. We appreciate it. Come back again soon.
Okay.
All right.
Every year we have teenagers help us with our summer reading program, and I ask some of them to come on and talk about books that they have been reading. And today we have Emily Williams talking with Chelsea Ratterman about a book she really enjoyed this summer in between volunteering.
Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the main character, Artemis Fowl?
Well, Artemis, he is a genius, a millionaire, and a criminal mastermind. His mom is like crazy because his father, Artemis Fowl Sr., disappeared while on a mission, like delivering some kind of something to
Okay.
the mafia. And
So it was shady. He just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, but he's been proclaimed legally dead, so Artemis is kind of caring for all the matters concerning the estate and stuff, really.
So he's the main character, but he's also a bad guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make it fun to read about, or?
Yeah, it is.
Does he ever become a good guy, or is he just the bad guy all the way through?
He's like, he just kind of develops a sense of humor during the book, which he's never had before, and so it's kind of really good.
Is this a fantasy story, or is it, okay. What makes it a fantasy?
Because it deals in like fairies and pixies and stuff like that, because Artemis has developed this taste in just magic and stuff, and he wants the gold to, the fairy gold to replenish the estate money. So he kidnapped a fairy in this book, and so he's holding her for ransom in this book.
To get the gold?
Yes. but he returns half of it so that to bring his mother back to sanity.
Okay. And there's like a police character in this book that is fighting against Artemis, right?
Yes, it's the leprechaun.
Mm-hmm. And that stands for something, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about what it is, but she's the police force and she's trying to solve the case and everything. Great. Well, what is it that you enjoyed about this book?
Well, I just kind of like the way the book went in, the direction it went in, period. It's really adventure and fantasy, everything just kind of put in one book. It's really good.
Was it suspenseful? Did it keep you guessing
Yes.
about what was going to happen?
Yeah.
Great. Tell us a little bit about the author.
Well, the author is Eoin Colfer, and he's an Irishman.
Okay.
And he's a retired school teacher, and some of his other books, like The Wish List, were bestsellers where he lives in Ireland and stuff. And in this series, the Artemis Fowl series, there's 3 other books, and there's like an activity book that goes with them too.
Great. Have you read any of the other books in the series?
I have all of them, yes.
Did you like them all as much
Yeah.
as this one?
Yes, I did.
Who would you recommend this book to?
Anybody?
Anybody? How did you hear about it? Did someone recommend it to you, or?
Well, we took a trip to Kentucky or something like that, and I was just kind of really bored, and we went to Walmart and I bought it.
Okay,
So
great.
just kind of picked it up.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Chelsea. We really appreciate it.
Donis Casey is an Oklahoman who now lives in Arizona. She has, like most writers, had a varied career. She's been a librarian and a shop owner before she decided to start writing. This is her second published book. It's set in rural Oklahoma in Muskogee County, just right after statehood. And a lot of people are getting killed in that county.
I know.
Now, Hornswoggled continues the exciting adventures of the Tucker family.
Right.
And you're the matron of the family, if I can call her that, Alifar. Is it Alifar?
Alifair.
Has to go around figuring things out for her family.
That's right, yes. Well, you know, this is one thing about doing a series that's set in one particular place is you have to be very creative about all the murders. Because it's just like you said, there's a lot of murder going on in this one tiny little town. But that's why occasionally I think in a series your main character has to travel and go someplace else in one of the books. But Alifair, you were talking about her being a matron of this large family, is actually fairly young woman. She's not even 40 yet, and the mother of 10 living children. And my idea in writing this series was that, well, I wanted a character who was different, because a main character who was different for the series, because it seems to me that in mysteries and that are very popular today, the heroines very often kind of they're usually contemporary, kind of hard-bitten dame, hard-talking, fast-talking dame who can't sustain a relationship and is kind of screwed up. And I thought that I would like to try and do a character who was moderately well-adjusted and had a nice family relationship. And of course she's a mother of 10. This is set in, the first book, The Old Buzzard Had It Coming, was set in 1912, and Hornswoggled is 1913. And this is a busy woman. She has 10 children, so she's not really interested in going out and solving murders, but she's very interested in her family and her children. And so in order to get her interested in finding out what happened to her neighbor who died, or one of her children has to be involved in some way. So in the first book, The Old Buzzard Had It Coming, her daughter Phoebe, her 17-year-old daughter Phoebe, fell in love with a man who was suspected of a murder. And in Hornswoggled, which occurs a year later, Phoebe's twin sister Alice has fallen in love with the town barber, who is very wealthy and popular and everyone loves him, but his late wife 8 months earlier had been found stabbed to death and dropped in the creek. And though he's long been cleared of the murder, Alifair is just not so sure. She thinks he's too much of a ladies' man, and she's just not sure that he didn't drive his wife to despair with his bad behavior. So whether he had anything to do with his wife's murder or not, Alifair is concerned that this is not the man for her daughter, and she wants to convince her hard-headed daughter that she could do better. So she begins to, with her mother-in-law's complicity, poke around to try and find out what really happened to poor Louise.
Well, you could also have called this book The Corpse That Traveled a Lot.
It's we were, yes, this is kind of a, let's say this is kind of a convoluted, I kind of tried to, well, I did kind of enjoy myself perhaps a little too much with the murder.
No, I had wonderful visions of people in the dark of night moving a body from one place to
One
another.
place to another. Yeah, I thought once the sheriff in this story, the sheriff kind of thinks he knows what happened to poor Louise, and but once Alifair starts poking around and asking questions, because she knows everybody in the county, she's related to everybody in the county, she finds that half the people in town think they know what happened. The other half of the people in town are lying about what they think happened, and the third half of the people in town are trying to fool the fourth half of the people in town about what happened. So that's why we called it, I hunted and hunted for a title that would describe the misdirection that goes on in this book. And I wanted something that was kind of ethnic also. And I talked to my husband about it. We talked and talked about what to call this book and couldn't think of just the right word. And he literally dreamed. He woke up one morning and said, "Eureka, I have it. I have the right word for it." And my publisher liked that. So that's why we chose Hornswoggle, to give an idea of the strange misdirection that occurs in this particular book.
Well, I think once again, the other great thing about your book is the sense of place that you're able to convey, place and time. Really, you feel like you do have some idea of what it's like to live on a farm in the early 20th century, and a little bit of the work that Alifair has to do fitted in around her poking around.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really interesting to me. Is a very strong sense of place and the time too. I don't like to. It always annoys me to read about a character in a historical time that has modern sensibilities. So I like for the people to be people of their time. And also, when I read a book, for me, it's like taking a vacation to some exotic clime. I want to go and live there for a while and see how the people eat with them, and follow them, wear their clothes, and see what they did for a living. That sort of. I want to soak up some of the ambiance.
Right.
So I like to see what the people's daily lives are like. Like for instance, Alifair, she's got a new baby in this book, a 6-month-old baby, and I thought, what's it like in your daily life? You have a 6-month-old baby, cloth diapers. Not only do you not have a washing machine, but you don't have indoor plumbing either. So and also, doing laundry is a big chore and a recurring theme. No plumbing, and 12 people that you have to, and food, a lot of food. You're always thinking about what's for dinner next.
Well, you are also thinking about something else as well, because Oklahoma Reads Oklahoma is having its voting, even as we speak, on its website, okreadsok.org, and your book is one of 6 that we are asking Oklahomans to vote for, and the winner will be announced in early November, and then whoever the winner is, hopefully it will be you, will be back next year to visit libraries all around the state.
Yes, that's right. A sponsored tour, which is very exciting. Yes, that's my first book, The Old Buzzard Had It Coming, is one of the 6. And this is the last year for the Oklahoma Reads Oklahoma 6-pack contest. Since 2007 is the centennial year, so whichever book gets the most votes in this year is going to be the book that's chosen, the Oklahoma Reads Oklahoma book for the centennial year, 2007, so it'd be very exciting.
Well, now the website has information about all 6 books, and you can vote at the website.
Right.
And
3 fiction and 3 nonfiction, all about Oklahoma and written by Oklahomans, right.
We've been very, very happy with the participation, and libraries all over the state have been absolutely thrilled because we've managed to hit, if not all, at least most of the libraries in the state. So
Yes, it would be quite exciting, I think, yeah. All 6 books look very good to me, but of course
you're a little prejudiced.
yes, I'm a little prejudiced. I like mine.
So, well, and I wanted to remind people also that you have a website as
Yes,
well.
I do.
So they can visit that. I don't know if they've got it up on the screen yet. There it is,
Yes.
www.donniscasey.com.
Yes.
Find out, because you do have a new book coming out next year.
Next year, yes. My plan is what I would like to do is to have a book for each of Alifair's 10 children, but we'll see if I can. I will continue on with that as long as I can maintain some quality
Great.
to it.
Well,
with
thank
the
you
series.
very much for being with us
Oh,
today.
thank you so much for the opportunity. I really enjoyed being here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Donnis Casey has been telling us about her book Hornswoggled, which you can find at your library and your favorite bookstore.
Hi, I'm Donna Morris, Executive Director of the Metropolitan Library System. 2007 will mark Oklahoma's centennial year. 100 years is a long time, but public libraries have been part of this community since the very beginning. And we're still exactly the same as we've been all along, your primary source for information and entertainment. The delivery methods are different now than in the early days. Today we provide free wireless access, free internet access, DVDs, CDs, free programming for people of all ages, along with the traditional books, magazines, and newspapers. But what hasn't changed is our dedication to helping you find exactly what you need. Librarians continue to be the guides to the up-to-date world of information, and our librarians at MLS are the best in the business. So visit your neighborhood MLS library soon, and as they say in the world of libraries, come check us out.
Well, I bet you all were wondering what had happened to Doug Benton. He'd just been lurking in the shadows, and here he is.
I'm de-lurking here.
De-lurking.
Well, in honor of Donnis Casey's mystery novel, we have a birthday from a mystery writer this week. October 20th, 1905 was the birthday of one of the 2 cousins who wrote as Ellery Queen. He called himself Frederick Danae, although even that was not his real name. He was Daniel Nolan. He was the one who edited Ellery Queen's mystery magazine and did the plotting for the Ellery Queen novels, where his other cousin did the actual writing. So anyway, happy birthday to a real lover of the detective short story especially, Frederick Danae.
Sounds great. And remember, you can check out Ellery Queen, Donnis Casey, and everybody else we've talked about at your library. You can go onto our website at www.metrolibrary.org, find out what's happening at your local library. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next time.